Hey everyone. So tonight I'm making a sheet pan meal that is it's just a Greek sheet pan, okay? So I'm gonna use my classic batter bowl here, and I'm gonna put our chicken in it, because first thing we're gonna do is marinate the chicken. This recipe only says to marinate for about 15 minutes, so that will probably be about as much time as it'll take for us to chop up our other veggies. So in my small measure-all cup, I am going to measure a half a cup of olive oil. I set that out. And we are going to, okay, I had a lemon over here. We are going to juice a lemon. We need about 3 tablespoons. I'm not going to measure the juice. I could use my little juicer thing that's got the measurements, but I think since it says 1 lemon that this is probably going to be approximately there. This is our citrus press, and the way you want to use this, you would think you would fit it in here like this, but you don't. The holes are in the bottom, so you're going to fit this way, and this is pretty well going to turn this lemon inside out. And I do like ours better. I had one time. It was a plastic one. And I didn't know how much strength I really needed to give it to push. So I pushed, and then when I couldn't push no more, I kept pushing, and it broke the thing. So this one is actually more of a ceramic, and it seems to do a little bit better. Okay. I'm gonna sit that there. I'm gonna do the Dijon mustard last because I'm gonna measure some dry ingredients here. And I am going to refer to my recipe here. 2 teaspoons, let me just pull it this way. 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. And I don't know that we really couldn't use the Pampered Chef Greek rub for this. Probably would work just as well. That's a half a teaspoon, that's not one. But I'm gonna try it the way the recipe says, and then next time I may do it the other way. Okay, there's our 2 teaspoons of that. 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. We're gonna do 1 teaspoon of salt. And a half a teaspoon of pepper. So now that I've got my dried spices in there, I'm going to use this teaspoon. We're going to do 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. So I'm going to shake it up because, you know, there's always liquid at the top. Whenever you go to squirt mustard out, you get the liquid first. If you shake it good, that doesn't happen. Okay. Grab a paper towel. So next we're going to do our garlic. Set that off to the side. This is our garlic press, or our garlic prep tool, I guess I should say. It's a neat little gadget. So the middle part opens up. Let me turn it this way. You can actually turn it to all different sides depending on what you want to do. This little piece here, when you still have the wrapper on, I took the thing off. You can put this in here, and roll it back and forth, and it crunches that up and gets it off. We won't really need that right now, but, and then you have a little brush here to get that out. So this top part here slices your garlic, and this part minces it in little cubes. And then if you want it finer than that, you can use this to paste it. And apparently the finer, which one is it? So you want to turn your cup there to face whichever way you're going to do. We're going to mince it. So apparently the finer you do your garlic, the more flavor it has. Get these all up here. And you're just going to mash this in. I'm going to work out here. Okay. And there we have all of our garlic in little cube pieces. So I'm just going to rake this in here. And my recipe disappeared on me. Okay. And I'm going to use my mini whipper here to mix this all up. Now the one thing I really like about sheet pan meals is once you get them put together on the tray, you're done. The oven is going to do its thing unless you just want to fix sides to go with it. Okay, so with this chicken, we're going to put 2/3 of this marinade in here, and the other 1/3 we're going to save for our veggies. So and it looks like a lot of the garlic sunk to the bottom, so I'm going to pull some of that up. Okay. Just going to mix that around a little bit because we want all of it to get some of that juice in it. I'm going to pop the lid on and set this aside. We're going to preheat our oven to 425. And this is our half sheet pan. It comes with a rack. I'm not using the rack tonight because we're just going to roast everything as is. But if you were doing something like a breaded chicken that you wanted the air to get up underneath, that's what the rack would be for. Or it would be amazing to put bacon on and bake it in the oven. Just saying, since we got a big weekend coming with this snow. Okay, so this is our, I need to show you this. This is actually our prep and store board. So these little pieces hold the containers, and these come out and can also fit on the sides. So no matter how your cabinet is or where you want it, I'm okay actually with it being this way, but it would fit any countertop. So I'm gonna open these up. These are the little containers that come with it. They have the nice venting lid here if you need something to get air. Now some people, when they're doing prep work, they'll use one container for garbage and the other one for their veggies. I'm not really gonna do that because that's not the way I'm doing it. So at this point, we need half of a red onion, and I've already used part of this onion. So I'm going to just, it says to cut it in thin quarters. So we're just gonna half this. And I'm gonna spread that on the pan. Next, we're going to take our Rapid Prep Mandolin. And this is a gadget that I really love for prep work. I have to say, for prepping veggies and different things, this, the Quick Slice, and the Food Chopper are my go-to favorites all the time. So, we are going to, back here on the back of this, what we're really going to do is use this for the zucchini. We might use it for the pepper. I'm not sure if it'll work or not. And I'm going to leave it set. There's 3 settings here. There's a French fry setting, a julienne setting, and a slice setting. We're going to set it on slice. And I think I'm going to do a 3. I can turn this where y'all can see it. I'm gonna actually put our little food chute thing in. I don't always use it, but this time I will. Because the recipe calls for cutting your zucchini in half so that you have the half moon shape. So I'm gonna cut that off, and we're gonna go down the middle. Now, if you wanted it to be quartered, of course you could turn it and cut it again. And I think it works better to go ahead and get this started a little bit before you, I don't use the food mover thing until we get further down. And it makes perfect little rings like this. This is great for cucumbers, zucchini, carrots, anything like this that you want to have a nice even chop. You can even do your own French fries with this gadget by putting it on the French fry setting. Okay. So what I'm going to try to do, this has to do the pepper in 1-inch pieces. I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to cut this guy out. Let's see if I can rake a few seeds out. This isn't a hot pepper by any means, so it doesn't really matter. But I don't know that I really want them in my meal. Okay, so I'm going to cut this in half. And maybe we'll cut it in half again. And I'm going to stack these guys on top of each other. Try to get the slimmest piece there. Now, because we want 1-inch pieces, I'm going to dial this up from a 4. See what happens when we put it on a 6. See if that makes it more like 1-inch pieces. Maybe not. I'm going to turn it to an 8 and see what that does. Yeah, that makes it a little bigger. We'll do that. And that's already down in there enough that I'm just going to guide that on through. And I think they have kind of turned themselves. Yep. Going to cut this piece in half and cut that in half. I'm just going to get this guy back out, cut him in half. That's a little bitty piece. I'm gonna leave it. Okay, so I think that'll be good enough. We're gonna put this in here with our onions. Spread that around. Cherry tomatoes. I'll throw them here. These we're actually not going to use the rapid prep manual for. We are going to, I was actually going to dump my stuff over there, but I haven't really used it that much. I will use it for these. So the cherry tomatoes we're just halving, and we want about a cup of those. And I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm sure if you wanted to, you could actually take a Roma tomato and maybe cut it in slices and put that in this. This would be fine. But the recipe calls for cherry, and I'm trying to do it the way it says, so we're gonna do it this way for now. There's my daughter grabbing a cherry tomato. Just gonna do a couple more of these. And I'm gonna stop right there. These are actually gonna go on the tray also. I think we're in good shape. At this point, we are going to put our chicken in and around this. I don't know that it matters really if it's touching. I'm just going to sort of separate a few of these zucchini here. I think that was perfect timing because I heard my oven go off, so it's preheated. I am trying to push some of this out of the way so that everything can kind of be in a single layer. Because if you're covering up veggies there, I don't know if they're going to cook all that well. Probably not. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So at this point, I'll grab another paper towel. We're going to put this in the oven, and it's going to go in for 30 minutes, yeah. I am going to put the rest of this marinade on here. So this is going to bake for 30 minutes. While that is doing its thing, oh, maybe I didn't hear it a minute ago. Okay, so at this point we are going to get our Kalamata olives. We're going to use, I think it was about a cup of those. Half a cup, sorry. And I did set out some measuring spoons for that. I guess I didn't for the half a cup. Okay. And we're gonna break up our feta cheese because once this gets done baking, we're gonna take that out and we're gonna sprinkle our olives across. And these Kalamata olives are pitted already. You don't wanna leave the pit in. That won't be fun to bite into. So, and I thought I bought already crumbled feta cheese, but this is actually not. So I am going to attempt to crumble it. And I really think that for that, you pretty much just break it up. I don't know that I have a gadget that would be great for that, so I'm just gonna do it with my hands. Now this recipe specifically calls for feta. If you don't like feta, I don't see why you couldn't probably do a little shaved parm or mozzarella, because this is going to go back into the oven for another 10 minutes or so, just enough to heat the olives through and maybe melt the cheese on top. Now that I'm crumbling this is crumbling up a lot more than what I thought. Because 1/4 of a cup isn't much. We have to put that in a separate container. Actually, let's just use one of these since we already have them out. And these containers work really great for keeping things fresh. I've used it with a lot of different things. And we want our groceries to last us for as long as possible, right guys? Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna pop the lid on that and set that to the side. And I'm just gonna get out some of these. I'm gonna rinse my hands first. I do have a can strainer. I didn't set that out, but I'm going to take some of that juice out. And pull out some of these. What did I say we were doing? 1/2 a cup. My husband's been so nice as to go ahead and get my 1/2 a cup measure out. And you could probably cut these in half if you wanted to make smaller pieces. The recipe doesn't say to, so I'm not. Put a piece of feta on there. The easier way, well, one more. Alrighty. And that's about 1/2 a cup there. Okay. So once that comes out, like I said, I'm just gonna put this over. I'm gonna take about 1/4 of my feta, sprinkle that over, and the only other thing that I'm gonna do is just chop up a little bit of parsley, put on it, and that's it. Now, if you wanted to have a little bit more with this, I guess you could make some rice, you could make some couscous or some orzo. I haven't decided exactly what I'm doing with it on the side yet. Or if you just want to sit down and relax at this point, get you a glass of sweet tea, get you a glass of wine, whatever you like. This would be the moment to do that. So, Greek sheet pan meal. Have a nice night, everybody. Goodbye.